Good day, good day, good day. We are here for another episode of the Impact Podcast. We're so excited to be here with you today. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. And so we have a treat for you today. It's going to be coming in hot. It is still summertime. So we're bringing it to you live from North Carolina with Dr. Shadé. And we have Dr. Obiama, of course. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are.
Yes.
So we're going to get started. Jump right in. Today we are talking about platforms. And Dr. Shadé is going to give us all the scoop about platforms because I may have said the word and it went right over your head. You're like, this isn't for me. It is. And we're going to talk about that. So the topic for today is teach, reach, repeat. And we're going to be talking about building a platform because we are all things impact. And I'm going to stop talking and pass it off to Dr. Shadé Adu so that she can tell us a little bit about herself and what she does.
Okay, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the beautiful people who are watching. My name is Dr. Shadé Adu, and I am a digital branding and marketing strategist, and I work with women entrepreneurs to help them build, market, and sell their digital programs, products, and services. And just like the title, because I believe we should teach what we know, and we should get paid well for it. So I'm super excited that we're having this conversation about building your platform, and especially building a platform that empowers and impacts people's lives. So I'm excited to dig in.
Yay. It's so funny. So a little background. Well, first, I remember meeting you or being in the same room a couple years. What was that? A couple years ago? We was at oh my goodness, Speakers Mastermind, I believe it was.
Okay.
And at that point, again, I was in the room.
Last year.
It feels like
was last year. It feels like longer.
It does. And I never even would have thought that we would have connected and I would have been in your program or anything. But this is why I love how things become full circle and you connect and all those things. But I even remember at that time you talking about like landing a big contract, and you were saying how just talking about the work that you do. And I was just like, digital marketing. If this podcast was here, I would have been like, platform, what? Digital marketing. Can you tell us a little bit about what digital marketing is and what it looks like for those of us who may not know?
So wait, before she get into it, because I've had the pleasure. I've had the pleasure before we both became doctors, right? Way back in 2015.
Back in the day.
Back in the way day. Yes. We had
that long
ago when I did the $1 Million Brand Conference at the Desmond in my room.
Really?
Do you remember that? Yes.
We would have had to have been in the same room then because I was coming to those back in the day.
Yes, you were there, but she was one of the speakers. That weekend. So it's interesting though, because as she get ready to teach on what she's about to teach on, the consistency and the evolution and the stick to itness, right? Of building your voice, really, because the connections that you make, I mean, it's almost about to be 10 years, literally. Literally, because it was March 2015. My room PA at the Desmond. I'll never forget that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And it's funny you say that, because we were talking about that behind the scenes, the consistency. Trust me, we're going to get there, because in times when I'm looking like, I don't know how she does it. You're constantly present in front of the people all the time. And I'm just like in awe. So we are definitely going to talk about, we can start with that as well. Digital marketing consistency.
So I just wanted, but I just want
to come from. Oh,
I just want to give her flowers though now, because she's not, for those of you who don't know, right? She's not someone that just popped up. And a lot of times when we are unaware, especially because technology has changed, social media has changed, and everyone is popping up. And sometimes because we're unfamiliar, we may think, oh, she one of them. No, she not one of them. She really not one of them, right? She true to this. She is true to this, not new to this. So I just wanted to, say, like, you've really been out here in these marketing streets for a really long time. And so you have invested, you have done the work, and you have results and receipts. I just wanted to say that for the people that don't know who is before us.
Thank you so much for that. I had to realize that, going into so I've been in business for 10 years, and I had to realize like year 8, 9, like, man, you've been doing this for a while. And when people bring up 2015 and those, I'm like, you are right. I have been around. So the first thing is I had to realize it myself. And then I just said, you know what? You've been doing this. And like you said, you have the results, you have receipts to prove it. You just got to own it. So as you're building this brand online and you're leveraging digital marketing, we'll talk about what that means in a second. You just got to own who you are. If you get nothing else from what I say today, own who it is you are. The faster you do that, the better. Someone recently asked me about digital marketing. Maybe it was like on Saturday. And I said, it's the process of showcasing your business, your brand, your idea online, and you're leveraging social media, whether it is LinkedIn, TikTok, email marketing, text message marketing. You are using digital strategies to make noise and get the word out about your business, your brand, or your bright ideas. And we've been doing that across different platforms. And one of those platforms I started out on was Periscope. That's where I began to be more consistent and gain some notoriety. Someone said, hey, you can make money on Periscope. And I said, well, I'm not doing anything now, so I might as well try. Right? I was on Facebook, I was on Instagram. I had a LinkedIn page, wasn't doing anything over there. And then they said this platform called Periscope. And the first time that I decided to go live, do a live stream on that platform, I said, oh, I was born for this. I could just feel it. I was like, oh, this is for me. And I said, okay, this is for me. I think I can do this. And then I was able to monetize it in like 30 days. And I said, okay, and you can make money from this? Like, people are paying attention to me. Like, this is a thing. And I just said, okay, I'm going to be consistent. And at the time, I think we wanted like 1 million hearts or whatever amount of followers on that platform. And I just said, I'm going to do it until I get there. And I was consistent. Thousands of videos later, we grew an audience. Now, eventually the platform was shut down. It used to be owned by Twitter, and they decided to let it go. But in that season, I was able to connect with people from around the country, from around the world. There were opportunities to speak. There was opportunities to train and meet new customers and clients that never would have had access to me if I didn't decide to start doing these videos. And then now we see Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn. Everybody has a live stream platform. And we see the onset, I would say the blow uptuation of vertical video with TikTok and Instagram Reels and all these short form video content. But when we were doing Periscope back in the day, we were on there for an hour, 3 hours. It was doing like going live way too long. And then now short form video is the way to go. So digital marketing is the process of you getting your ideas out there by using these platforms. We don't just consume the content, we produce the content. And that's the key difference. There's so many people who are consuming and watching and interested in your programs, products, and services, and they will watch for hours. But we have to be the ones that are producing content so that we can sell more of our products, programs, and services.
I love that. I love that. And you're right. That's where I would hear people say, right, my esthetician, we were talking about something and I brought you up and she was like, oh my goodness, I used to watch her on Periscope. She literally said that. I don't think I was heavy on the Periscope scene at that time, but I love the fact that you were even present digitally prior to the pandemic? Because I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, it feels like that's when it really blew up for another group of people. Clearly, there was a group of people on different platforms years before, because you said 10 years ago, and I love that, and that definitely shows consistency. I wanted to ask you the question from the standpoint of someone who's like, I have a brand, or because I feel like sometimes we don't think we have a brand, but we do. How do I create a platform? What does that look like for someone who is starting out or they're early in their journey? What would you
Great.
say?
I would say the first thing, make the decision that you want to be a brand and that you want to be an influencer. That's the first thing. Because some people will say, oh, I want to have a business, but I don't want to be the face of my business. I don't want to be the one that people see and know. You got to make the decision that you want to be seen and known, and you want to be visible. That's the first thing. And you got to be comfortable and okay with that. Because some people are absolutely like, nope, I don't want to do that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is get people. So if I would have started over, I would have been more committed to having people buy into some type of idea. And that's why I brought up just not business and brand, but getting people behind the idea. Whether the idea is we're going to live a debt-free life, and I want to create a community of people who want to be debt-free, or they want to budget, or they want to live life unapologetically, whatever the theme or the idea is. I want to find people who have a common goal and a common focus, and then I want to build the brand around that idea. What can I get people to believe in, to buy in? That's what I want to, and then I want to build my brand around supporting them. So the first thing we really want to think about, of course, we want things. We want to make money. We want to be successful. We want certain things and affordances. But in order to get those things, we have to find the people who we can serve and support at the level that they want to be served and supported at. So what are those ideas? What are those things that we can say, okay, this is what I want to teach people how to do. I want them to have a successful daycare. I want them to be able to open up multiple centers and have time freedom. I don't want them to be the only worker at their center. I want them to be able to expand and have a great life. So what are these ideas that we can get people to believe in? That's the first place we want to start. Start with your people. Then you can build a brand, products and services, solutions around that idea. Because if you know what the people want, you can repackage it, package it up, and sell it back to them. And a lot of times when I'm working with women entrepreneurs, it's, oh, I want to do what I feel excited about, what I feel passionate about. That's great. But are the things you're excited about and passionate about things people want to pay you for? Because we got to be, as we go into this next season, we have to be committed to the things that actually are income generating and income producing activities in our businesses. And if there are things that people want to buy from us, we have to make sure that we are selling those things to them.
Yes. It's so funny.
Like, that's the key to success.
This is what you said, and I put the post-it note. Give the people what they want to buy.
Give them what they want to buy. If they want to buy cheeseburgers from you, guess what? You got to sell cheeseburgers. Like, it is what it is. That's why McDonald's is there. We got to stop making this hard and trying to give people what we think they want to buy. Ask them what they want to buy and sell that to them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's so good. That's good. And the other thing I can imagine, right, is, again, we said already, you've been doing this almost 10 years now. This thing takes time. So it's not like, we're going to come up with this idea and, now we're going to be 6-figure, 7-figure business owners. What would you say that looks like in regards to showing up? I can imagine you're going to say show up consistently. What does that look like? And then for someone who just started, they're a year in, what would you say to them?
This is what I want to say about time. It is going to take time, but it doesn't have to take a long time. And you have to put in a concerted amount of effort in a reasonable amount of time. So this is the thing. If you have more money than time, you can pay for visibility. You can pay for paid advertising. You can pay for marketing. You can pay for PR. And you can be like, man, this person just blew up overnight because they had the funds to be visible. If you or someone's like, man, I'm building this from the ground floor, I don't have those type of funds, then it's going to take you some time to build organically. But what's the secret recipe that will take you to the next level and you don't have to wait forever is partnership with other people, leveraging other people's audiences, other people's brands, OPP, other people's people, other people's money. It'll help you get to your goals faster because if you make one right strategic connection, it could open you up to your next big client project or income. Like it can open you up to your new, like a next level income just because you knew the right person. So part of what I'm encouraging people to do in this season, yes, you need to build, you need to be creating your content organically. But yes, if you have the money, invest in paid advertising, but don't forget to partner with other people. How can you be strategically visible in other places and spaces so that you can get to your goals faster?
That's good. And I love that because that definitely debunks the idea of, this is my competition or partnering with people somehow diminishes me. And it's really, and I feel like collaboration has been such, it's been a key. It's been mentioned and discussed a lot. I know we've spoken about it on this platform, right? Damaris Obiyama and I have collaborated to, create this and other things. It absolutely makes sense. So would you say that you connect with someone in the same industry, different industries, a little bit of both? What does that look like?
All of the above. The short answer is all of the above. And the reason you want to have connections, people think they can't network or work with people that are in the same industry niche as them. And that's your loss, really. There's going to be people who do the same exact thing or a similar thing to you where you guys can collect notes and navigate and support. So one time I had a client who was doing a tour in Chicago. She messaged me like late at night, let's say it was midnight or between midnight and 6 a.m. Her person that she was going to have speak at her event canceled on her. I was not in Chicago. I was already somewhere else. Who knows where I was? I couldn't get there. And she was like, do you know someone else who is a brand strategist who can do these things that can fill in? And I knew someone in Chicago. And I said, listen, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, listen, I wouldn't message you unless I was serious and that, we were in a pinch. And I said, my client will pay you. Are you available to meet her, whatever time? And because of that, that made me more valuable to my client and more valuable to my colleague because I got her a paid speaking engagement at 6 o'clock in the morning. So she knows now if I'm saying, hey, I need you for something, she knows that I'm bringing value to the table. So sometimes you need other colleagues that you trust, that you value what they do to support you when you can't be the person that's in person to support things. So you need referral partners. There are people I refer all the time because there's certain things that I no longer want to do or I cannot do. So now I have somebody else. I had a conversation with an agency owner. There's a lot of things, and we were going over his products and services. There's a lot of stuff that he does that I do, and there's a lot of stuff that he does that I will never do. So then I said, okay, if someone needs that service, I'm more than happy to be a referral partner for you. So you need colleagues. The next thing is you need people in other industries because we need to be inspired. There's stuff that you guys are doing in the childcare industry that inspires me. We need to look in the financial sector. We need to look in so many different angles. You don't want to be caught in the bubble of what you're seeing in your world based on the people that you know. So I'm always looking at what are they doing in different industries? What are we doing in different communities? What are we doing in different groups? Just so that I can get some new ideas and be inspired in a different way. So I'm absolutely looking for partners in other industries. And sometimes there's some overlap in those industries. And I'm able to say, okay, they're doing this. How can I bring what they're doing over here into what I'm doing over here? I'm looking for overlap, partnerships, opportunities that I can present value in these other niches. So you absolutely, and then you also want to go with people who are like light years ahead of you, companies, corporations, millions, $1 billion companies, because they have access to things we just don't even know are available.
Yes.
So now that's where I'm actually going. How can I access what governmental entities are doing, companies and corporations, because they got budgets that's not my budget. And I want to see what other opportunities can happen. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm working on a partnership with a bank, and they have a program for business entrepreneurs. I've been trying to get in this program forever. I didn't try this link, that link didn't work. Then another person sent me the documents and it finally worked. And one of the things we have like one-on-one coaching. And one of the things I guess my coach in this from that bank gave me was access to another program that I wanted to join, but I was going to pay for it. But then he sent me the link to get reimbursed for the program. He was like, "Oh no, we'll pay for it for you. Let me just send you the link." Now, it was just a simple email. And then I got an email yesterday that I received a grant from that program that he sent me the link. And it's because of a partnership and a connection with a person versus me having to do all the things I thought I was going to have to do.
So here's the thing. Well, I want to interject here because in order to even be in a position to embrace those opportunities, you have to have the right mindset, right?
Yep.
And so the mindset has to be purpose partner minded, right? Purpose partner minded, not looking at someone and on the low hating or on the low wishing you were them or on the low being envious and jealous, because that is the thing that shows up between us, right? I don't see it in other communities, but between us, it's the cattiness, right? And so we have to really embrace an abundant mindset in order to position ourselves for said partnerships and opportunities and collaborations.
You have to be, so this is the thing. We all have some level of jealousy. I'm not gonna act like we don't. And you have to be, if I am jealous of somebody, and there's a handful of people, you feel it every once in a while, I have to release it, and I have to not, they can't be in my space.
Right.
So I cannot watch their content. I gotta delete it, I gotta pause it, I gotta mute it, because it's messing up my psyche and my mental health. And that's not okay. So if I genuinely feel some type of way, it's so funny. All these things are coming. It was somebody we had from my Periscope days. We had a disagreement, and I've been avoiding this person for a long time. And somehow they kept this weekend, they've been popping up in my content. I was like, I haven't seen this person in years, and all of a sudden, and I just was like, okay, I had to understand my feelings, and I'll say, you know what? I wish this person well. I'm glad that they're having success in their life, but I don't want to see it, so I just keep it going, keep it moving. So so the thing is, for me, I love being a cheerleader for people. I have to genuinely want them to win. If I feel any malintent or ill feelings, I got to remove myself from the situation, because it's not good for them and it's not good for me. So I genuinely want to be around people I want to see win. And sometimes people, that means they're going to be winning better than you. People, they just want you to win to the level that you're at. They don't want you to surpass it. That's not okay. You got to want people to truly win and be the best version of themselves, which means that they might be better than you. And I tell people all the time, like my niece is going to college in a couple of weeks. And my sister always says, "Oh, she's like you. She's like you." And I'm like, no, I need her to be better than me. It is not my job to make a clone. It is my task to say, listen, do it better than me. Do it faster, make more money from it, accomplish more, get more media, do it better than me. Don't do it like me. That's been done. Do it better. So that's always my motto. And if I feel jealous, I got to remove myself, get out of my feelings to remove myself. But ultimately, you want to be around people that are inspired by you, that you feel inspired by, so that you both can do great things. And it might not mean that you're going to be having that same level of success immediately. Sometimes it's not your place right now, but you have to be okay and have the belief like this is available and possible for me as well.
Yes. And that's what exactly came to mind. Like, I think for me, more than jealousy, it's like, yes, oh, like I see you. And if anything, that's going to be a connection. Tell me more. How can I connect with you? And the other thing that I have learned is that we don't know everyone's journey. We don't know what it took for them to get there. I don't know what you had to sacrifice. So I do not wish that I have what you have because I don't know the call. So I'm going to stay over here and but I do remember a period though. I did have to clean up like my feed list because it can be a distraction. It can be a distraction because now you're seeing stuff and it's like, okay, well, they're doing this, they're doing this. Now here I go, oh, well, maybe I should, that has nothing to do with me. That may not be my journey. Stay focused, sis, right? And if anything, work on these divine connections so we can have partnerships. So I love that was brought up because that's true. It's reality. It's reality. It comes up, but like all of us, I prefer to surround myself with people
that's going to celebrate us and not tolerate us.
That's it.
We want to be celebrated.
And vice versa. We don't want to be around people we tolerate neither.
We want to be celebrated. And we don't want the backhanded compliments as well. Like someone who genuinely, and I had that back in that Periscope time. There was someone I was really close with who I admired, but there was always somebody coming back telling them stuff about me. And I was like, I don't even know who you're talking about. So how are they finding this out? Are you telling them this? And I had to just do a reevaluation of why is this person telling you these things about me? Number one, I don't talk to that person. And number two, the only connection we got is you. So there's something you are saying to them about me. And ever since I let that relationship go, we don't have none of these problems. I be like, my business is my business, you know? So sometimes it's the people that are closest to you and it can be hurtful. It was painful to let that person go, but I had to. And every year, definitely at the end of the year, I have these reevaluation seasons of who has to go. And sometimes it's the same, you know, and I try to do it before January 1st. Like, you can't come into the new year with me. So we make decisions at the end of the year, who has to go, or even like around a birthday, like some type of milestone, who can no longer go into my new season with me? And maybe that's a question, you know, you have to ask yourself. And sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's going to be significant others. It could be, you know, you got to identify like who can no longer go with you, so that you can reach the goals that you're destined to reach. And everybody's not supposed to be with you in that season. And another nugget, if your timeline distracts you, there is a Google Chrome extension where you can kill your news feed. So for school to finish that degree, because I love to scroll, I had to kill my news feed. So I would go on Facebook and the Google Chrome extension would be on and it says, your news feed is killed. Go back to doing what you need to do or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like that.
You can't see anything when you go and kill your news feed. Nothing comes up.
I didn't
Let me write that down.
Right? I didn't know that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to write that down. We were talking about this the other day. It's a Google Chrome extension. We were talking about that the other day. That's what it's called? Or just type that in there? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be kill my Facebook news feed and you will not see it. And it's a Google Chrome extension. Yep, kill the news feed and it will eradicate your Facebook news feed. You can, of course, delete it and turn it back on, but this will help you increase your productivity. It'll help you focus, especially if you get distracted from what you see in your news feed.
I like it. My hairstylist the other day was saying that I usually use on my iPhone, but I usually use the you could do the do not disturb or the focus choice on the front. And so I never used the work one. And she was saying, you know, I have a work one. And when you put it on work, it limits the number of apps that you see when you go on your phone. So Facebook won't come up. All those tabs that you don't need that's not related to work doesn't come up. And I was like, let me check that out because right, us speaking about productivity, consistency, and all of that. Before we started recording, we were talking about even watching TV and cutting things out so that we can be most productive. And I think that's something too that we need to consider. What are those things that we may need to put on pause or kind of have hidden or period? What are those things? Because there are times with the feed, right? Isis and I used to talk about that. Like we can go in there and get caught up because the feed never stops. It allows you to consistently feed. So sometimes we allow ourselves 5 minutes because it's a distraction, just a brain refocus for some. But at some point, we're like, nope, that's all I get is 5 minutes and I need to keep going. So I love that. Kill my feed.
Kill your feed. And so productivity, I would say it depends on your life, but you have to, if you have goals on things that you want to accomplish, you have to put time aside for them. And it can be more complicated. So I'm saying this now, people, let me get some context of who I am so that, other people are going to say stuff about me, but it is what it is. I am single. I don't have any children. So some of the affordances that I have in life are different from people who have families. So let me give that caveat and context, because I understand that it is different. You still have to put time to decide, and it has to look the way it makes sense for your life and your family's life. If the time happens at night, you might have to work at night. If the time is early in the morning, you have to work in the morning. And because I understand that I am a single woman with less responsibilities, I'm putting it in quotes. There are people who I use as examples of people who are extremely productive, that have multiple children. They got a husband. They got 5, 6, 11 different businesses, degrees. They have all the things, and they've been able to make it work. And what they say is they just make it work, not all at the same time.
Right.
You have to create what makes the most sense for you. So I encourage you to abandon what you think is supposed to look like,
right,
and create what it's supposed to look like for you and your family, that makes you happy, that makes your family thrive, that makes your relationships, your romantic relationships thrive, because it can be all of the above, but maybe not all at the same time. It needs to be it needs to be an understanding. Like, even though I say I don't have any children, my niece, who is 16, lives with me. So that was an adjustment. So we do got to get this back to school stuff together. I think school started in like 2 weeks. Somebody was like, oh, you got back to school to do. And I was like, oh, I guess I do. Chris was like, what are you talking about? I'm not in school no more. Then I said, oh, yeah, we do have somebody who has to go back to school. So, what does that look like? And for me, part of the conversation is I am very busy, but I try to say, listen, I'm doing this work so you can see what it looks like, so that I can have some free time. And so that if there's something that you do want to do, you have the affordances and the availability to do it without me saying, oh, we can't afford for you to do that. I don't want to say that. I do need to do a better job of taking some time off so that we can spend more time together. I do acknowledge that. I haven't been the best with that, but hey, I'm learning this new thing, right? Y'all gave me a full grown kid. What? These and how they crumbled, right? So I have to do a better job with that. But she also understands, like, Auntie is working and there's a purpose and there's a reason, and taking her to events and letting her see, like, this is why we're working. Like on Sunday, we're going to do a community service and we're going to help some foster kids move into school. Why? Because I want her to see what it's like to be on a college campus, and I want her to see what it's like to give back and why we do that and why it's so important. So setting the example and co-creating what it looks like. Like if she asks me she has a problem, then I got to stop what I'm doing to pay attention, to make sure that I am present and I'm, being emotional support that she needs. So that's important. But having that availability to do that. So I'm working hard so that we can have affordances that we may not have had in previous years. So there's definitely a balance. I definitely don't have all the answers, but the goal is to make it work the best way we can.
Agreed. Yes. That's the consistent work. We were talking about that briefly as well. And I'm learning to replace those words, because that balance thing isn't really working. So I'm loving this new idea of just working in harmony. And I always say I'm a quarterly planning girl. And so by planning the quarter, I also know what my priorities are that quarter. So right now, I know that it's busy, but then I make sure that I am weaving in my family time specifically for me. Like I have to be strategic about the amount of time and okay, that's enough, and put that down. So I agree with you. There's it's times when I'm great at it. And there's times when I'm learning, though, that when I know it's going to be busy, to communicate it. And guys, it's about to be really crazy. This is what we're going to do. However, I still see you. And how about we do XYZ? So that's how I'm learning to navigate that a little bit. including myself, right? So I have yoga is a new thing for me. I am loving it. And now my kids are joining me. So it helps because now I have my personal development and my stretching as physical as mental and intertwining with them. The interesting part is my 12-year-old is an amazing accountability partner with working out. She's like, Mommy, today's a day. I'm like, you're right. So I think that's working for me is figuring out how to weed them a little bit strategically. And, it's a win-win. Yeah.
I love it.
I'm enjoying that part. I definitely want to talk about, I know we spoke about digital marketing, but like you have on your description, please let's talk about Grow Your Brand's A Big Deal conference, because I know that is one of your amazing in-person events. So can we talk about what the conference is about? Grow Your Brand's A Big Deal. Give us a little bit of background on that.
So the idea of this Grow Your Brand's A Big Deal. It's a conference. It's a movement. It was an idea that I was just talking to someone. I was like, yeah, you're a big deal. And then someone said, you need to say, Girl, Your Brand's a big deal. And it was a guy, actually. It was a male marketing strategist. Again, a colleague. We do similar things. And I was like, no, I'm not going to call it that. Then I went with it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go with what you're saying. You know what you're talking about. And what I realized was I said it because there were times I didn't feel like a big deal. And a lot of the women we work with, they're acting as if they're not a big deal. They got all these products and services. They do amazing things for people, and we're not making enough noise about it. And then we have people who may be new to the marketplace, who don't have as much results, credentials, or credibility, but they know how to be a big deal because they're masterful at marketing. So I said, we got to be better at making sure we tell people we're a big deal. If we want more opportunities, we want the bigger deals and the bigger grants and the bigger contracts, people need to know that, number one, we're competent. Number two, we're confident about what we do and we can execute and actually do it. And how that happens is they got to believe in you and they got to see you. So being a big deal means making more noise for yourself in the marketplace. And the people that I see that are unapologetic and just bold about making noise for themselves make more. So if we want to make more, we want to be seen more, we got to talk. We got to talk our talk because our male counterparts have no problem.
Yes.
You can use politics and the elections as an example. They have absolutely no problem with saying they're a big deal, and they could be a load of crap, but they don't have a problem with saying, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I can get the job done. I can do this. I can do that. And half the stuff they say, it ain't even true. But because there's an air of confidence in how they display themselves, people tend to believe them. So we got to give ourselves a fighting chance to be believed in this marketplace. We got to make noise for ourselves and let people know, like, yes, we can support you. You have this goal. I'm confident in supporting you and helping you accomplish this goal.
I love that. And that makes sense. And Girl, Your Brand's a Big Deal. I know I resonated when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that is good. And like you said, it took me a minute too to even realize, like, I am a brand, right? Like sometimes I think we look at it as I have a brand. I am a brand, right? When I'm communicating with people, when I show up in front of people, I'm showing up as my brand. And so, yes, we have services, we have products and things like that. But to understand and to own the fact that we ourselves are a brand and at the same time a big deal. Oh my gosh, I love it. When's the next conference? What can one expect at the conference? And go ahead.
The next conference will be in 2025, June 2025, the June 5th, 6th, and 7th in Charlotte, North Carolina. And more information will be at thebigdealconference.com, thebigdealconference.com. What can you expect? So we're in the planning stages of next year, but I can give you the vision of what I'm thinking about. I always have a vision or a theme. And because we're talking to women entrepreneurs, because of the season that we've been in 2024, my vision and theme is in the black. I think about the last quarter and companies, how they use Black Friday. They might be in the red. They might not have been profitable the entire year, but they get into the black in that final quarter. And I said, we need to be in the black. So in the black, I'm thinking of just some ideas. We'll see what happens. having in the Black party, having some type of casino night, because we need to be in the Black. We need to bet on ourselves. We need to gamble a little bit more. We're not taking enough risk in business. We're playing it safe, and it's showing up in our profits and how much money we make or don't make. So we need to be in the Black. We need to be strategic about making businesses that make money, and also about betting and gambling on ourselves. So some of these are the things I'm just thinking about right now. And I'm thinking about who are the women and the men that need to be the speakers in the room to truly have this conversation. And I have some people in the mind, we're going to focus more on sales. I do want to I'm thinking about having tracks for coaches, speakers, and authors, specifically for coaches, speakers, and authors. How can we be in the Black? What does that look like? We need to have more conversations about sales. We need to have more conversations about money and what we need to be doing with our money. And not only, we need to have bigger goals, we need to have $1 million and multi-million dollar aspirations and goals. So that is kind of where I am thinking about for the conference and the goal and what's the mission of it. We need to be in the Black. We need to make more. We need to have bigger aspirations for more. And we need to just go after more. So even looking at grants and contracts, how can we just make more? Because when women have more, and part of this is just my fundamental belief, is some of the work that I've done in my dissertation, statistically, historically, when you give women more, we do more with the more. We multiply things. We do phenomenal things with more. Schools are built. Businesses are better. Government entities are more prosperous. When you have women on corporate boards, they make more money. So it is fiscally responsible to have women in charge and have women in more leadership and financial leadership. We need to have access to capital. So that's just part of my fundamental belief. So I'm on a mission over these next couple of months to find the folks and the entities that can fund this mission, because we have the data to back up what happens when you give women more. We do good things with it. And if we want to be even more specific, Black women, when you give us something, we know how to make things out of nothing. And we are creators. So by virtue of that, we deserve more, because we'll do good things with it.
All right. So as way of a recap, because you gave us so many wonderful tools, techniques, right, and strategies. And so for those of you who are listening, and a couple of things that she said, because one of the things that's really important is that when you hear information like this, you have to make a decision and not allow the information to overwhelm you to the point where you do nothing. So don't listen to all of the goodness that Dr. Shadé shared and then do nothing. That defeats the purpose. Make a decision to listen to what she said, listen to the replay multiple times if you need to, and then make a decision to do something. And maybe it is attending her conference this year, or maybe it's attending it next year. And then from that, you need to create a timeline and say, well, I just found out about it and I may not have the funds, or I may not have the time to do it this year, but this is what I'm going to do over the next 12 months until I can get there next time, next summer, whatever that looks like. Because what happens is we hear this delicious information and then we do nothing, and we are at the exact same space and place next year. No, we have to change our behavior. Women and men, we have to change our behavior. So make a decision. I invite you, make a decision, listen to this multiple times over, and then get busy, right? Get busy being consistent and building your brand and investing in your voice. Why? Because girl, for the girls that's listening, your brand is a big deal. Thank you, Dr. Shadé.
Yes, this is so good. Thank you so much. And I know you told us where we can find information about the conference. How can people get in contact with Dr. Shadé Adu?
Well, you can find me across the internet at Hey Dr. Shade, spelled like shade, blame my mama and my daddy. Hey Dr. Shade, across social media. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and you can find me at ShadéYadu.com, ShadéYadu.com. And I should be easy to find on the internet. I look forward to connecting with you, and let me know you found me here.
Yay. Yeah, thank you so much for blessing us. I will say, we initially connected because I wanted to get my automated program. Can I say that it is done? Yes, ma'am. It is done. It is done.
And more.
So,
You've gotten so much more done too.
I started with other stuff, but I circle back. That's the last offer. I was like, that's done. So I'm so excited. Yes, Dr. Shadé always has amazing strategies, and I feel like they're always realistic and like you can get it done. It's not one of those things where like it costs millions of dollars. It is price conscious. You can just always do it the same way we're sitting here and recording, and you are getting this podcast before you. It is nothing but a subscription to a platform that records. This could be Zoom. So basically, like Dr. Obiama was saying, we are removing the excuses and getting it done. And that is that. So please comment, after you watch this episode, comment what it is that you took away and what it is that you're going to do. And we will celebrate you. In the meantime, enjoy your day. Enjoy your summer. It's coming to an end, but thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Shadé. Dr. Obiama, you already know. Thank you, as always. And until next time, this is the Impact Podcast. We'll see you soon.
Have a great day.